Hey heroes, welcome to another episode of Hosts4Hire. I am Lucas Rand and this is Kyle Cage, and we're going to be covering part one of Crisis on Infinite Earths. DC has been known for its incredible animated universes throughout the years, and they continue to hit it with this one right on the head, in my opinion. And with this introduction to the climax of the Tomorrowverse.
Yeah, really, they did an amazing job, start to finish, beginning to end.
Yes.
I thought it was really well done the way that they did the story. How it was a little confusing, but like purposely.
Yeah, that purposeful confusion was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Through like the perspective of Flash and him not knowing what was going on and like going through different times. I also thought it was cool that they were like filling in gaps like
hmm
in the like storyline with this. Like it was like a way to get exposition. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, and just though like some of the character models were really really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like Green Arrow, I don't know
Yeah,
personally,
he
I thought
looked
he was really
sick.
cool.
Yeah, he
Um,
did.
yeah, even Aquaman, which is we've
Yeah.
obviously seen all these characters in the previous movies, but it's been a while, and it was nice to see him again and be like, oh yeah, these characters look cool.
Yeah, they look badass, especially like the like hook hand iron or Aquaman. That was really cool.
hmm hmm I mean, Batman leaves a little to be desired, but
Yeah,
that's
I gotta be honest. Uh, I love Jensen Ackles as the voice. He does a great job. Like voice of Batman, hits it. But like the look that they went with in this like universe, at least in
yeah,
comparison to the DC AMU Batman, where like is man like peaked out 10 out of 10 Batman from that universe.
yeah.
I in comparison to that, yeah, it kind of falls a little flat to me.
And I feel like they knew that, which is why they
Hmm.
didn't really highlight him as much.
Yeah.
Besides in the his movies leading
Yeah,
up
it
to
didn't
it.
seem like he was the forefront as much. I also agreed that it seemed like they didn't want to compete with the Batman from the DC AMU, so might as well like kind of shy away from him a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of peak characters, though, Vixen being in
Oh
this
yeah.
was I thought it was a great choice personally. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
thought it
a
was an
pretty
amazing
odd
choice.
original Justice League team, but it was really, really cool. Like it was Vixen, Green Arrow, like that's no
Two
Wonder
that
Woman, no Cyborg.
yeah,
Um
two right off the bat where it's kind of not the usual suspects.
yeah, very cool. Especially because as you know, Green Arrow is one of my favorite characters of all time. So
Yeah, I mean,
that was
he's
just a real big hit for me.
yeah, and Luther in that Metallo suit. Oh,
Oh,
that was
dude, yeah.
sick.
I can't believe that there's never been a Metallo like suit before. Like it's such a sweet concept. Love it. Was
hmm
as soon as it came out, I was like, oh, Metallo suit.
Super super dope.
Yeah.
I did going back to the a little bit to the how they told the story. I did like that they chose the Flash to be like
Hmm.
the what's the word I'm looking for, the plot, the
Yeah, like
plot pusher. You know, the one
yeah, it
that
was told
it
through his
hinges around.
perspective. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was really
Considering he
really
didn't,
cool.
he was the only one that didn't really have his own movie leading up to it either.
Hmm. He just lent himself to that character so perfectly. Like
hmm
that's such a great way to use the Barry character is to like show exposition like that and like
That's the word I was looking
travel.
for. Exposition. I could not remember.
Yeah, well, also during that Luthor Metallo fight, the way Batman picks up Superman when he like
Oh,
goes down and he like swings like with the momentum to pick up his body. Not
so
only
dope.
was that so cool, but I loved it conceptually because like Batman's not a super person. He can't just pick up a person like that. Like like he would
Especially
need the
Superman.
momentum.
Like
Yeah, like a
he's
dense.
Superman's a very dense
Mhm.
being. Like
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that he like like needed that momentum in order to like pick him up running. That
yeah,
was really really cool.
yeah, really, really well done. That like
Um,
again, the choreography wasn't like the greatest, especially when it's impossible not to compare it to the
Again, yeah, we're
DCAMU,
just
which
yeah,
again has
again.
the best choreography in almost all of animation. Like,
Yeah, it's just so hard to compete.
yeah, but they did show it in cool ways of like with the way Batman figured
Hmm.
out what Luther did with Ivo. Like,
Yes, that is like one of those like Batman detective moments where I'm like, yes,
yeah, which is
thank
why
you.
the Batman, which we of course still have to do one on, but the Batman is
Oh yeah, yeah,
peak
such
is
a
top
great.
tier
Hmm.
because of that.
Absolutely
Because of his
agreed.
detectiveness. But that
Yeah,
whole JLA versus Amazo fight was really cool, though. The whole
yeah,
fight
it was.
was.
Amazo was like a surprisingly like sympathetic character. Like, I really like that version of him where like
Mhm.
he's being taken advantage of, and like what he really is like a like adolescent like mind.
Mhm.
Like he's like innocent more or less, uh, and
Where
just like
like he's just doing what he was programmed to
told or
do,
programmed, right?
but he's also like still trying to fight it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's what
Mm-hmm.
Luther did.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I thought that was cool. Also, another thing that was really cool is the crime syndicate.
Oh
Getting to
yeah,
see them was awesome.
yeah,
Uh,
seeing them in their entirety too, like
yeah,
in full force like that.
absolutely. I really thought it was badass the way that they like brought Flash to like that council of theirs, and
Hmm.
um, like they were like judge, jury, and executioner. Like that was pretty cool.
Like they just
Um,
ruled with an iron fist, and like the way that when the shit starts going down, the way that Ultraman just like pushes the building to the other
yes,
side,
yeah,
and
that was
it's
awesome.
just
At
like,
first, what I really liked about that is at first when that scene came up, what popped in my head, I was like, oh, like they're being forced to be heroic. Like maybe they'll like feel what it feels like to help again, and it'll like respur them their like ambition to like save the universes during this
nope.
crisis. But nope, it was just like he didn't want the building to fall on his statues.
Yep.
Love that. That honestly, like that was, I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah. Also, old man Constantine showing
Mm.
up.
I was like, hey, Constantine.
As soon as he did magic for me, I was like, "Who is this?" And then he
Yeah,
did magic, and I was
his
like,
voice for
"Oh."
some reason is like in my brain, like that, like old timey, like British accent. Like
Yeah.
it's just like in my ears.
Yeah.
Uh, and also speaking of the Constantine, this is a version of Constantine has been banned from the afterlife.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it says
you
I've
had
tried, I
mentioned that
can't.
you noticed it. Yeah, when he
Yeah,
says I've tried, I can't. That
it's a
shows that
version
it's
of
that version.
there
Yeah.
is a comic book version of Constantine that he's been banned from heaven, hell, and like any form in between. So
Hmm.
he's like practically immortal. Love that.
Yep. Yeah, and then like even Owlman at the end just being like sometimes the most logical thing to do is
Mm-hmm.
a useless gesture.
Yeah, where
And
Flash is
just
like,
like,
"What are you doing? Like you're smarter than this. Why are you just doing this?"
yeah,
And he's
like
like, "Eh,
you're
sometimes you got to go with fuck it."
I ain't gonna fold to the pressures. All right, we're gonna do whatever we want up to
Yeah.
the
Hey,
end.
I respect it. I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah,
Um,
it it is
but that
very
brings us to the
interesting.
moment of the movie where they basically introduce like the monitor and like the
Yeah,
actual whole crisis, what was going on, which was really really cool in my opinion. The way that the characters that were brought in were a think tank and like
it
bring
was like they
like
all had a purpose there too.
yep, like Bruce says, he like points out all the characters. He's like, this isn't some form of like army. This is a fucking brainstorming session.
Yeah, I mean, like the question, him,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, I was like Mr. Terrific, like Dr. Light, uh,
that was cool though. The way they,
Horde,
sorry,
Ted Horde.
side note, that was cool the way they just like created Doctor Light in this.
And that was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought that too. They like brought her in there like, by the way.
Here's powers.
She's like, change me back. And then she's like, wait. It's pretty fucking cool.
Hang on, I have superpowers now. Wait a minute. All right. Let's
Also,
test
I
them
found
out.
that it was really interesting that the Bruce in this world didn't adopt Dick that day,
Mm-hmm.
where Barry was telling him that he should be the one to do it. He didn't do it, so he didn't have the Bat family.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
which definitely has ramifications on Bruce Wayne.
The fact that this Batman suffers from not from, from that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not as good of a Batman, which is really really cool. But
Yeah.
also in this like big brainstorming sessions, man, there were some cool characters that
Oh,
like popped out. I don't know if like you popped like Obsidian is one of my like favorite Justice Society characters. That was awesome to see. I don't think
there
he
were so
did
many
anything,
obscure characters that
but
just were
just
in the
seeing him
Bat
there, I was like,
family.
nice, love that guy. Like a Speedy, a Firestorm,
Hmm.
Wildcat. Uh,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
there
really
were a
cool
ton of
ones.
them. Like I'm seeing the question was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, same.
Like
Also, that he had a pretty cool role.
mhm.
Uh, I
He was
love that
there to question
every
everyone,
sentence he said
including
was
the
like, "You should
Monitor.
have questioned your own questions."
See the questioning nature of reality is.
What you should have done is question it.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Yeah, that is like another like really interesting thing, like with the brainstorming stuff was like just the way that they show that like how smart people figure things out in the DC
Yeah, with how
universe.
Barry
Like,
like brought them the coffee and like just like from one little like thing he says, they'd like piece together one little part and then build on it and build on it and build on it. And like we figured the whole fucking thing out. Let's go save the
and they're like, "What?"
universe.
The normies around are just like, "The hell just happened?"
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting that Monitor didn't clock that Flash could
Mhm.
do that.
Yeah,
He was
that's
like, "What do
true. I
you
didn't
mean
even
you
think
can
about
go
that.
through all these fucking realities?"
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
Like,
that.
wait a minute. Like, you can go anywhere.
Like what? I thought that was a me thing.
Like, nope, nope. Been doing it for a while now.
He's like, "Why have I been tasked to fucking write down everything?" Then I thought I was the only one.
Like, I could have had help this whole time. What the shit is this? What are you guys doing to me?
Yeah, but yeah, so far this like movie didn't have a whole lot of action in it, other than that like JLA versus Amazo bit, but it was really captivating. Like the
Hmm.
way that they were like bouncing back and forth with Flash
The
and like
time skipping.
yep, and like leaving questions and then like suddenly he's old and like oh what like what's going on and now he's
Well, I
talking
do
to
like that.
Amazo
Well,
and
I do like that he's like there was in every time it goes back to him and Iris in that house,
mm-hmm,
they slowly get older. I think over there's
yeah
three
over
scenes, and over the
time yeah
course of those
mm-hmm,
three scenes, they get like noticeably older in each one.
yep
And
it's very
I
cool
think in the second one, I noticed I like glimpsed through the window outside
and that
that
shit was
everything
stopped.
was stopped
Yeah,
outside,
same.
and I remember
I
having the
also
thought of like, wait a
what's
minute.
going on here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That was
honestly, oh
really that
man,
was
yeah,
great. The old
that hurt
people
me.
like to the rescue. They like without
Yeah,
Barry and Iris, nothing would have gotten like
yeah,
everything would have
that
been destroyed.
was that hurt my heart when
Hmm.
I like realized when they did a masterful job, by the way, of
Yeah,
like piecing it all together and then being like, oh shit.
yeah,
Uh,
bringing it back around.
hmm that was like really really good when they show that they're the last ones and they've just like been saying that they got to go to work this whole time, but work was like building the fucking thing.
Yeah,
Awesome,
finishing the tower. Yeah.
awesome. Also, Barry and Amazo's relationship. I love that
Oh,
so much. That was so cute.
yes, very. Just I love the way that it showed that Barry had showed Amazo how he
Yep.
could redeem himself.
But like not like Barry was the like it really showed like the level of heroism that can come from the Flash, which was really
Mhm.
cool.
He
That
spent an
like
entire lifetime with Iris
yep,
just saving the
saving
multiverse.
everyone. Like
Like
while everyone was still, he lived an entire lifetime doing something
just
like
selflessly.
bit by bit, bit by bit. And another thing I realized on a second watch through is Amazo's purpose, or not his purpose, his power is to like take people's powers. He takes like mutant or not mutant, metahuman uh, energy and like
Hmm.
turns it into like other energy. So Barry was like giving him his life force over all of these years. He was just
Hmm.
like, I'm
Just
gonna charge you
slowly,
slowly with like me,
because
which was
Barry's a
awesome.
battery. He's a living
Yep,
battery.
which was just awesome. I love that. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and like the fact that he for all of those years he was constantly keeping him and Iris
Yep.
in a time
And
loop.
everything still, whilst also giving portions and portions, little by little, of his power to Amazo.
Yeah,
Because also
but
what he says to Amazo is like that he's like, oh, I have to do it before I get too weak. And the
yeah,
first time I saw that, I assumed that it meant because he's old, and he's like getting too old for it. But he's not. He's not too weak. We can see that like his age doesn't really stop his speed. He's still the Flash. What he
yeah,
meant was
no,
like, I'm running out of speed.
yeah, I've given
Eventually, I'm
a
gonna
lot
give
of it
you
to you.
too much to
Hmm.
where I'll be weak, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah. It's it, the way that they showed Barry being able to because he didn't stop time. Like the wave was still going.
Right,
It,
moving. Right,
it showed
Amazo
that
points
like
that out.
they were able to calculate that means that he had to calculate like how slow can I make it go while still being able to give as much energy
Yep.
as I can to him and keeping us all,
And like Amazo
you
was like
know,
giving them like instructions of like what to do, how to build it, because obviously they're not mechanical geniuses.
the way that, yeah, he was built to be. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
really, really cool.
there were, quite a few questions that they
Yes.
posed.
Questions.
Yep, exactly. But there were quite a few that they posed that they didn't answer, or that,
Yeah, at least yet.
like, at least yet. And like,
Yeah, what
we're
were
gonna cover
some
this as we
questions that
went
you
through
guys
it.
had that like didn't get answered, or like did you guys like um how they like told this movie through the perspective of the Flash? How did you guys feel about like all of that?
Because I can
Um
definitely see it being really jarring. I can
yeah,
definitely see it being
it was
really, like,
confusing, but I really
confusing,
enjoyed it
and
personally.
yeah, it
But
it
I could see
definitely,
how why not.
you have to give it time.
Yeah, and like you
Yeah.
kind of got to be like paying attention type shit. It's not like a loose watch. You'll
Hmm.
definitely be confused. One thing for me was that it seemed like there was times that Barry was consciously moving through time, where he was the one like making the choice to like go through, and then there was
Hmm.
some points where it seemed like he was being forced through, like something was activating his speed for him.
Oh yeah, when like he was getting pushed through, when the time
Yeah,
skipping would happen, it was very kind of sporadic. It
yeah.
was
There was
kind of
some where like he was the one doing it, and some where like it seemed like it was happening to him,
like
and that
either
was very
like the
interesting.
monitor, or even the
The Speed Force,
Speed
maybe.
Force
Yeah,
itself was
yeah,
pushing
right.
him, trying to, because the
Because at
Speed
the
Force
very end,
also would have had.
he's like standing there as an old man, and he just like bloop, zips away, and then he like pops up in the War World movie and like in the other movies where like we get to see him,
Yeah.
where he like was popping up as like a through line.
And which, with that being the final scene,
Yeah, very confused about that
episode
too.
part 2 should have, some reference
Some
to it, or should
answers to
explain
that.
some kind
Yeah.
of thing. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
something that I found very interesting. At the very end, did they spoof Infinity War? Was that an Infinity
Dude,
War
that
spoof?
felt like it, with the like fading away
What
of the
was all that?
future
They even were
characters.
like, "Oh, I don't feel so good," or they're like, "I feel weird," and then like turned into dust. Like that was a total Infinity War spoof. Did you
That
guys catch
definitely
that? What
felt
do you guys
a
think
little
about
weird. Yeah, like, did that feel like spoofy, or was that
that?
them just not realizing it, and just an
There's no
oversight?
way.
Maybe
There's no
there's no
way.
way though. It was way too similar. Like, but one of my favorite characters in DC is the Spectre, and
Mm,
having him show up was
I was stoked for
dope.
that.
I was
Yeah,
That was awesome. I
he was
really fucking
sick.
enjoyed
Yeah,
that. Yeah, not only is he just like awesome, but like, he's also just, I love that he's like nigh omnipotent and omniscient, and like he's basically like God's underling.
yeah. I really, really
But
liked how ominous he was.
he's also just kind of a dick, because he's
Yeah,
like,
like Tomander, he's like, "Yeah, you learned to have a little fucking faith yet, bro? No, all right. See you when you do."
yeah, exactly. Like, he's like, he's not really there to help unless you're willing and you want the help and you know how to ask for his help. Like, that's the thing about him. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's
yeah,
just
I'll
there
give you my
to.
help. Yeah, I'll give you all the help you need. You got to learn how to ask for it though.
Yeah, I love that. I love how like ominous he was. Like he felt like a presence, but like not.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's very odd.
Which is actually,
Uh,
his
yeah, yeah,
creator and boss, the president.
yeah, uh, yeah. It was, I just really liked that. Like when he spoke, he spoke sort of with like a finality. That there was like nothing that like even someone as old and as knowledgeable and as powerful as the Monitor could like
Mhm.
say back to him. Like what are you gonna do? It's the fucking Spectre.
Exactly. Like,
Like
how are you
that
gonna
was pretty
stop
cool.
anything? Yeah. What was also with Annie Monitor being like shady at the end there? What do you guys think about
Yeah,
that? Where he
was that
talks
some
about it?
anti-monitor type shit? Because
Yeah.
when he's like, "Oh, like experiment completed," that was like some real shady shit. I
Yeah.
wonder if they're gonna yeah, they should answer that in part two. We'll have to
We'll have to
have to
remember
remember
to.
to see if they answered that.
Yeah, for sure. But like, there were a couple characters that I wish were in it. Like,
Yes,
Fate
yes,
would have been
Fate.
awesome.
Yes,
You brought
really,
that up
really cool.
immediately
Yeah,
after we watched
another
it. Yeah.
Static Shock. I am
Hmm.
a big Static Shock
Black
guy.
Lightning, like, really any
Yeah,
of the power
yeah,
characters that could
yeah.
have helped with
Hmm.
the, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm a big, huge Static Shock fan, so yeah, I really would have liked to see him maybe we still will. I did see Firestorm, so like I'm hoping for like a pretty cool role from Firestorm because like he is definitely one of my favorite, more obscure characters.
Hmm.
Uh, his power set is just so cool. Um, but yeah, what were some characters that you guys thought like that you would have wished to see like during that like assemble of the brains scene? Like, would you have liked to see some more like obscure characters? Would you have liked to see some more like um popular characters like Cyborg? You know, we didn't see Cyborg or like Raven, the Titans,
Hmm.
any of them. Like, would you have liked to see some of
Yeah,
that?
now I'm thinking about it. The only Titan that we saw was Dick.
Yeah, Dick and um yeah,
Is there a cyborg?
I did not see a cyborg. I don't
There's no
think that there was a
cyborg
cyborg.
in this verse.
I
Weird.
don't think so. Not like in the verse, and then like in this movie, I don't remember seeing him in the background or anything, which is odd because in an assembling of the brains, you'd think he would bring the technological supercomputer.
Yeah, you would think so, but
That's very odd, actually. That's a little bit of
yeah,
a
that's
oversight there,
yeah. Or they
or there's a reason. Yeah,
they can't use him right now or
yeah,
something. I don't know.
yeah.
There's some weird
Very
variance
odd. Yeah,
there.
that's a really good point. I
But
didn't think about that
who
until
else
right
do you
now.
want to see? Who do you guys want to see in the next ones too? In
Yeah.
part two and part
Yeah.
three, people they could bring into it. People they could let
I'm
us
very
know. Let us
curious how
know.
like the
Yeah,
because like I know that Kevin Conroy Batman is supposed to like be in these movies. So I'm
it's
curious
supposed
on
to be
like
his final
how they're all
role.
gonna
Yeah,
like
like
bring it in
I
and
had
like
read
mesh that all
part three
together.
was his final role as
hmm
Batman before he
hmm
passed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm real curious on how they're gonna like mesh that because you know it's his last. God, I mean Kevin Conroy. As much as like I love like Christian Bale and I'm not a huge fan of Batman or Batflick, but I really like Pattinson. You know, and, like I love live action Batman. Kevin Conroy is my
Is
Batman,
Batman.
man. That guy is
Yeah,
Batman.
he
Like
is Batman.
I don't know if you guys give Kevin Conroy his flowers, but you give him his flowers because that man is the Batman. To if you were born in the '90s, that's your Batman.
He's the Batman, and Mark Hamill is the
Is the
Joker.
Joker?
That's just it.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
those two had a
Heath
dynamic
Ledger's
that's
performance was like
unmatched.
masterful for like live action and like
But
it'd
it
be very
was
hard to
see
top one day.
the thing about Heath Ledger's Joker is that it was an amazing performance, but it wasn't necessarily an amazing Joker.
Joker, yeah. Whereas Mark Hamill's was very
It's the Joker.
it's the Joker. Yeah, no, it's like there's just no
It's
other way
like
to put it.
straight
Like,
from the comics.
yeah,
The difference is Mark Hamill's is right from the comics, and Heath
it's hard to
Ledger's is
compare like
something we've never seen
animation to
before.
live action.
Which both
To
of them are
me,
good, yeah.
animation
But
will always have the trump card over live action. You know,
there's just so much more of it,
so much
and
more freedom.
they're able to
Yeah.
take so many more liberties. Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, hey, you guys, I don't know about you, but this made me want to go watch part two real bad. So I
Yep.
hope you guys enjoyed listening to our talk about yet another fantastic DC animated project. And this makes you also want to go watch part two so we can like keep this conversation going next week. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe at Host for Hire Podcast on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and Host for Hire Pod on X.
Yeah, and once again, as we always want to point out, we are very new to this whole podcasting thing,
Yeah.
videoing for the very first time,
Yes, this is
really,
going to be our like
and
actually second time doing
second
a
time
video.
technically, but
Yeah,
first time we're doing it the way that it'll be
separately. Yeah.
going forward for at
hmm
least
hmm
now. And we just want we hope that you be patient with us, and we appreciate any kind of feedback that you might have. Let us
hmm
know. We will definitely make any changes.
Yeah, if you guys
And
have any advice on like videoing or criticisms, especially criticisms, please send them our way. We like that's exactly what we want. We want to hear this stuff. We want to adapt, adjust, and just like
please,
yeah, we're
please,
figuring this out as we go. So any information is so welcome. If even
yeah.
you're like, hey, stop talking so weird, say that, and we'll try to adjust to that.
Seriously, anything and everything. We don't have thin skin. Let us know,
Yeah, let
please.
us know. Yeah, thank you guys so much. And we will see you next week.